Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank you for coming out on this rainy Friday. Happy that it's Friday, but wish it was a little more pleasant weather for us to start the weekend. But we want to really thank you all for coming out for the launch of the Show Us Your Guns program. The District Attorney's Office, in conjunction with the Empowerment Center, through funding and support from the Vera Institute's Motion for Justice grant, has started the program, which will be officially, formally launching as of today, entitled Show Us Your Guns. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking a little bit about the program, let you know a little bit about what it looks like. I want to thank you all for being here. I notice we've got community leaders, law enforcement, faith leaders, members of various different groups and organizations in the court system and throughout the community. I want to thank you all for being here. I think your presence here demonstrates exactly the reason that we're confident this program is going to be successful, because one of the many things that it is intended to do is to build community and enhance relationships between our respective organizations and young people who find themselves on the verge of justice involvement, that we want to try to keep that from happening. So we're going to talk a little bit about the program, but before we do that, I want to let Representative Gilliard make some comments. We are here at the Empowerment Center. I think it's only appropriate that he offer his introductions to you, let you know a little bit about what's going on here at the Empowerment Center. I also do want to say apologies from District Attorney Jones. She is stuck in Atlanta on some business, but she welcomes you all here and thanks you all for being here as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Representative Gilliard, and then I'll talk a little bit more about some specifics with regard to the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Yeah. It is a recourse after Savannah Chatham Day, so work with us as much as you can. I'm elated that we started out with a study committee on prevention, intervention, and in commemoration with the gang issue that we have in Georgia. And Savannah has been chosen as a model for the Chatham County Gang Prevention Intervention Commission. Out of that has come a focus of identifying preventive and intervention measures. And when the governor signed the bill in April, we have marched very strongly with the Chatham County District Attorney's Office and so many other community partners. I'm elated that out of this came through the work of the Chatham County District Attorney's Office and in partnership with Feed the Hungry, the Empowerment Center, the Show Us Your Guns initiative. While we are here, the Empowerment Center is a one-stop shop resource center. Everything from GEDs, everything from classes from Savannah Tech, State Leo University, getting people on their feet, from housing, from rentability to sustainability. 244 individuals have gotten into homes. Re-entry, we have one of the top programs in the Chatham County Jail called New Beginnings for the last couple of years. And with all the initiatives to get people on their feet, a health clinic in partnership with St. Joseph Candler to give people a chance that don't have health care. So we are prepared and pushing to connect with other partners to get these individuals that will be in the Show Us Your Guns program a profile, a model profile program that when they come to us, each program will be different in its own entity. And so we'll be able to take that individual, take that program. If they have a need, it might be anything from housing to a career to substance abuse. We will model a program and give them an opportunity to have a new beginning, break the recidivism of their incarceration, and get those guns off the streets. So we're glad to be here. It takes partnerships, and this is the first in the nation, and it's also a model for the state of Georgia. So we're glad to be here and be a part of this tremendous kickoff.
Thank you, Representative Gilliard. So let me talk with you just for a few minutes about what the program is so that you'll understand why we are so excited about this. I think it'll be very obvious. Back around March, we made a grant application to the Vera Institute through a brand new program the Vera Institute has called Motion for Justice. And the intention of the grant was for district attorneys' offices throughout the country to partner with community-based organizations to develop a program to benefit the community. And it was allowed by the Vera Institute folks to be pretty much anything that you wanted it to be, a diversion program or an enhancement of an existing program. Well, for a long time we've been talking about diversion programs in our community, and we have quite a lot of them. But one that we don't have is a diversion program dealing with firearms. And so we started trying to come up with an idea of how might we develop a diversion program that would focus on individuals, young individuals who are most affected by firearm possession charges and convictions. And as is true throughout the criminal justice community and has been true throughout the criminal justice community for quite a long time, what we discovered is our communities of color are where the individuals are that are most impacted and affected by these offenses. So we decided that we wanted to spend some time thinking about how can we center racial equity and racial justice in our work in the District Attorney's Office and throughout our community. And that's really the focus of what the Vera Institute Motion for Justice is intended to do. Center those questions of equity and fairness within the community and remove the biases that have been inherent within our justice system for a long, long time. And so we started thinking about where could we potentially have the greatest impact while at the same time ensuring public safety. So we've determined that what we want to do is when we have young people from 16 to 25 who come into contact with law enforcement, and law enforcement makes a determination that that individual is in possession of a firearm, and I want to be clear, we're talking about possession, not use, not utilization of that firearm. That's a different situation. That's something we're going to have to talk about and think about in a very different way, which we're doing with Representative Gilliard's Game Commission and other things. But if it's a matter of simple possession of a firearm, we've developed a program where we can divert that individual into the Show Us Your Guns program. What that means is that they then come into the program, the firearm that they have, if it's not already surrendered as a consequence of what their charge is and what their circumstances are, they surrender the firearm, so we're getting the firearms off the street. And then critically, what we're doing with those individuals, rather than run them through the court system, is send them out here to the Empowerment Center, and we develop for them a tailor-made plan to address what the root causes of their particular issue is or are. Okay? And that's what makes this program unique. It's not a one-size-fits-all. We'll be bringing the individuals into the District Attorney's Office, meeting with them with a team of individuals from the District Attorney's Office, from the Empowerment Center, and we'll make some decisions about what is it that they are struggling with the most. Where do they feel the weakest in their lives that's giving them cause or reason to carry a firearm and have that false sense of power that firearms give our young people. And so that's why we're saying we want you to show us your guns. We're going to take those guns off the street, and then we're going to empower these individuals to use their own inherent strength. So they'll get educational training, they'll get job training, they'll be able to apply for jobs that are open in the community, they'll have conflict resolution courses that they will complete, and other similar types of pro-social programs that are specifically tailored to them. Representative Gilliard mentioned his program that he has out in the jail right now that's been wildly successful for a number of years. We're going to take that program and we're going to tailor it a little bit. We're going to adjust it a little bit to make it appropriate for our participants. And again, that's individuals 16 to 25 years old who are facing a simple possession of firearm, a simple firearm possession charge. They'll come into the program, they'll conduct themselves through the program for at least 12 months. Sometimes it could potentially be longer. And at the conclusion of their successful completion of the Show Us Your Guns program, their arrest will be restricted. They will not have a conviction. They will be walking away empowered and stronger as individuals to be stronger for themselves, stronger for their communities. Our communities will be safer, and we'll start to see outcomes that are more meaningful and deeply impactful for our young people and for the communities that they live in and the communities that all of you spend your time and raise your families in. So we're really excited about the program. We do know that we have a particular community of individuals, a particular population of individuals that we believe are going to be most impacted positively by this program, because we anticipate it's that same population of individuals who are most impacted by the criminal justice system and oftentimes the inequities that we find in it. So we are appreciative and grateful to the Vera Institute for their assistance in designing helping us to design the program and launch it. We are, in Chatham County, one of only 10 district attorneys' offices and community-based organizations in the country that have been awarded this grant. This is the inaugural year of this grant. They've never done it before, and they have selected our community as one of 10 across the country to put their program into place. So we're very excited about it. We're very proud of the work that we've done to this point, and we're very honored to be a part of the Vera Institute community and honored to be here working with all of you to make a meaningful, deep, impactful change in our communities.
Well, entertain any questions at this time you might have.
Straight away, I was just wondering, you mentioned that this is for for young people with gun possession, but is this for folks that have a history of gun possession or have committed violent acts with guns? Could you clarify that just a little more, please?
Sure, absolutely. This is for simple gun possession. That's a very important distinction to draw. If an individual has been arrested for using that firearm in some fashion, whether it's for assaulting an individual or discharging it publicly, they will not qualify for this program. This program is intended to catch young people who are at the verge of entering a different place in their lives. They're at the verge of entering into the criminal justice community. They're at the verge of potentially getting involved in gang behaviors, and we have located those individuals through whatever means they happen to come into contact with law enforcement before they've taken those actions of violence. And so the simple firearm possession is a way for us to, one, get the firearms off the street before they are used potentially, but even more importantly, to work with that young person, again, to ensure that they understand they have inherent power. They have power within their minds and within their bodies, and we will provide them pro-social programming for them to be able to harness that power and that energy, and that will then decrease the number of violent acts and gun crimes in our community.
Gentlemen, quick question. Is once they complete this program, there's no conviction, is there any type of record of the arrest? Because one of the things about diversion is you want them to re-enter society, presumably, with a clean slate, and I have a follow-up.
We will be having record restriction as a part of the program. They will, once they've completed the program, the record restriction process will also occur. So as we have record restrictions presently, that same process will work for these individuals, but the other added benefit is that they will never have that conviction to begin with. And it's important to recognize a gun conviction has an incredibly negative impact on the lives of young people, particularly young people, because it can affect their educational opportunities, it can affect their programmatic opportunities to get social services and the like, and of course it creates a very, very early stain on their opportunities by being a permanent part of their record.
But obviously, to get the grant, you must have provided some type of data, figures to show why this community needs it. Do you have an idea of how many individuals between that age group that you mentioned, that you've arrested, have come into your office for simple gun possession?
The evidence at this point on that is actually very anecdotal. Part of what we're doing with this program, part of what Vera Institute is assisting us with, is helping us to understand better what our data is, what the information is that we have within our office and within the court system, within the police departments, within the sheriff's offices, to make sure that we can bring all that data together and be able to cull it out more effectively.
So is it fair to say that you have no data about how many individuals this will impact?
We do have data, but I can't provide that to you as I stand here now.
Is that data available to provide?
I'll be happy to provide that data to you. Again, part of what we're doing as a part of this program is getting a better understanding of what that is.
This question is for either one of you. I'm sorry. It's one thing to get them out of the system or by getting them to this program, but there's going to need to be some support from, not just from your office, but from community as well. What sort of support is the community going to provide? I'm thinking about, they're going to need jobs, they're going to need some ongoing counseling. I mean, who knows, maybe there's some mental health issues. Where's all that coming from?
That is coming from the resources of the Empowerment Center. The Empowerment Center is that one-stop shop. We've got counselors that are available pro bono. We have the access to the faith-based community, the careers. One of the things is that when they get a gun charge or get a charge and they're in the system, it's hard for them to get a job if they have a violent offense. So we have access to careers. Right now we're doing careers in reference to starting your own insurance agency, getting licensed. So DBE certifications, starting your own business, getting a career. We did a job fair, career fair with EnviroVac last week, Tyco, access to the ports. So we're giving them career opportunities and the training with Savannah Tech in things like forklifting, CDL license, all the above. We have bus tickets. We're giving them no excuse not to get to that workspace or here. We're going to give them clothing vouchers from Goodwill. We're going to give them access to the services Goodwill provides, from resume services to all the above. No excuse to not be successful. And it's a journey, as this is the inaugural part of it. So that person gets a 1-year sentence. They come to Mr. Washington to get an intake on what they need from all their services, and we've customized that program. We want to know their living environment. Maybe they need a home. Maybe they need residence. Maybe they need, they're addicted. So we want to be able to plug and really customize this program. I'm excited because in all the years that I've been doing this, I've never seen an approach that we can really take our time and not put them in a bubble of 15 and 100 people and make a demographic of them, but bring them back to being a human being and being treated, that we can take time and customize that program. So we're excited. All hands are on deck here at the Empowerment Center.
Gentlemen, you have does either of you have a goal in mind? Muhammad Ali famously used to write in his gloves what round he would knock out his opponent. Do you have an idea of what is the percentage of the reduction in crime that you can say was a result of this program?
We are targeting, again, to your question about data, we're still working on sorting out the data. Our target is to have a 20% reduction in individuals 16 to 25 who are convicted of a simple possession of firearm charge. That's the goal.
There were a number of gun-related homicides this year in Chatham County with youth under the age of 16, sometimes as young as 14. Why is the cutoff age 16?
At this point, it's for programmatic reasons primarily. We have had this discussion. Representative Gilliard and the team that are working with us on this have had that very discussion about, are we too narrow in our age grouping? We're starting at this age grouping of 16 to 25 primarily because of the programmatic elements. They have to be at least 16 in order to be able to fulfill some of the programmatic elements. Like completing some of the programs that they may have to complete, whether it's an educational related program or a work related program. So at this point, we feel like that's the age, it's the lowest age that we can ensure that individual would be able to complete the programmatic elements without having some age limitation.
Are you looking in the future to address younger ages then?
We're certainly going to be evaluating that along the way. That'll be one of the things that we're evaluating as we go along. How many young people under 16 could also benefit from this program? What are the programmatic elements that we can adjust appropriately so that we could have individuals under the age of 16 to come in? So we will be evaluating that. This is, again, as Representative said, this is the very beginning of a completely new program. This is something unlike anything else that we've been able to identify anywhere in the country.
And let me share this too, unrelated to this, but related to the Gang Commission. On March the 5th, there'll be another kickoff for part 2 of what we've been working on with prevention programs. So there are 3 programs that are going to deal with youth ages 6 to 13 on that day. We're taking our time. One of the things we said when we formed the Chatham County Gang Prevention and Intervention Commission, we didn't get in this overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. We're just going to take our time proactively. I'm so excited about what's coming forward, but even in the midst of it coming forward, we're just going to take our time, because it's been every bit, and Reverend Tillman's here, of 30-some-odd years that Chatham County has been in this predicament, unlike other cities across the state of Georgia. And so I think with the level of community support, and we made sure we involve law enforcement, faith-based community organizations. We don't want to have what we call a silo of just the repeat of everybody doing the same thing. So the thing now is to find out from even this approach today with this news conference, what you can help us with is those that want to help us in this walk, that we might have missed a couple of agencies or individuals that want to say, I want to help. We're ready. We want to be a part of that team.
Just a question also, when you talked about the various reasons why they may have a gun, I found out that some of them, and you said that they provide a false sense of security. In this program, is there an opportunity for relocation? Because some just really need to not be in that particular area where they are. as a part of that. And when you mentioned others who have the same grant, I would think that somewhere along the line, it may be an opportunity to move folk between cities or something, even faith community to help with that.
Well, let me start and have you make some comments about that as well. Let me be clear about the other 9 other 9 district attorneys' offices around the country that are involved in this program. They're not doing the same program. All of the different programs are distinct and unique for those particular communities. So we don't really have that networking yet. However, we are developing amongst those 10 offices generally a network about how it is we move forward with innovative ideas in the criminal justice community. This is about prevention and intervention, and everybody is working on something in some area of the criminal justice community that sort of centers their programs around racial equity, around fairness within the system, and around prevention and intervention of criminal behavior. Most of them are also dealing with young people, not all of them. As to the issue of relocation, that's a big process to have somebody relocated. Whether or not we would be able to do that, it would be dependent on a lot of different factors. Would we be open to the possibility of that if we could make those sorts of plans viable for somebody? Certainly we would. There are some limitations, of course, even with that, because an individual, once again, like we were talking about age earlier, would have to be able to be involved in the program. So they would have to be able to be present for these various different programs. And this is hands-on. That's something else about this program. This is not a program where we've developed a handbook. And we give people a handbook and we let them watch an hour video and we tell them to go off and do exercises and bring it back to us. That's not what this program is. This is very hands-on. And the other thing that I want to make sure that you all understand is we're talking about community building in this program as well. We're looking and focusing our attention on these young people who are on the verge of going into a criminal justice involved life, and we don't want that. But we're also thinking about, as the representative said, how can we use this program as an opportunity for all of us to strengthen and enhance our community and our relationships. And so this is participatory. We are coming to you to say, what can you offer? What is your area of interest and knowledge and expertise? Are you willing? Do you have the resources available to you to assist us in our work? So this is really about community building above and beyond what we're very hopeful and confident that we're going to be able to provide to the young people who are in the program.
And the Chatham County District Attorney's Office will have a space here. We were just with the Commissioner of DJJ, Commissioner Tyrone Oliver, yesterday. They will have a reentry program office here. Goodwill will have presence here. So we're talking about on the day-to-day that people can walk in that door and unrelated, they could say, I need a job, I need help, I need clothing. We've got, we're going to have a clothing closet. If you need work boots, we got vouchers. We're not giving them any excuse. And as we add to it, we want to get more people involved. We reached out to Savannah State University. They're reaching out to develop some outreach programs. We got to get people on their feet. We got to get people into financial literacy. So we got to get people, into thinking that failure is not an option. What Reverend Tillman alluded to is the gang factor. That there are those that are saying, I want a new life. When I get an email or a letter from one of my former students in the Chatham County Jail that says, I want a way out, but in my way out, I'm afraid that if I live in my same community, I might not make it out. And so these are parables that we're working on, and one of the things that I feel great about is we've involved all the municipalities as far as law enforcement, and I want to thank you all for being here, because you all experience this daily, and we don't know. We're not the professionals, but thank you for what you're doing to contribute to what we're trying to do to prevent the next possible case. Right in our community, let's just be transparent, right in our community, right over here, there's the element in these areas over here. And if we don't do something on the preventive level, then there's going to be more incarceration, more funerals, and more gangs. So I just think this is a tremendous leap for us. There's more to come as we approach March the 5th, and we're ready to get our sleeves rolling up. I mean, trust and believe we are really anxiously ready to start this program.